Here's the most important question you need to ask yourself before putting in any real money into a stock. Is the company within my circle of competence? So this is stock number 1 in our 7-day series, showing you how to start investing in companies around you with StockOracle. And the company we're talking about today, it could potentially be already in your pockets. Too often, people buy stocks just because they saw a friend talking about it or they saw it trending online without really understanding what the businesses do or how it makes money. So staying within your circle of competence forces you to invest in companies you genuinely understand, which makes it easier to judge whether they're worth your hard-earned cash. And for our first pick, let's start with a household brand that most of you probably hear of before, Apple. And here's how StockOracle ranks Apple on this 6 key matrix: predictability, profitability, growth, economic mode, financial strength, and valuation. We'll talk more about it later on. Now, everyone knows about the iPhone, iPad, MacBook, and even Apple Watch. And as much as I hate to admit it, I myself am an Apple fanboy. So as a consumer, you have seen their premium pricing, the way their products connect flawlessly across the ecosystem, and the die-hard queues on the launch day. So once you're into their ecosystem, iCloud, AirPods, Apple Pay, it's hard to leave them. And that's loyalty. And from an investor's perspective, that also means recurring revenue. So if you understand why you and millions of others keep coming back, you're already halfway to analyzing Apple as a business. And that's the essence of investing within your circle of competence. And using StockOracle, it helps you gain a deeper understanding in minutes. So when you log into StockOracle, you'll be greeted with this homepage. And all you have to do is to either type in the company's name or the stock ticker symbol, and you can begin your research from there. So let's talk a lot more about Apple with the ticker AAPL. And after querying the stock, you'll be greeted with this dashboard. And of course, like any investor, the first thing that comes to mind is to understand how the stock has performed and to look at the stock chart. And over the last 5 years, I think it's safe to say that Apple is a pretty good compounder where you would have potentially 2x your money if you've invested earlier. But right now, I think the bigger question on most investors' mind is whether Apple would be a potentially good investment and how do we understand the business today. So in this particular dashboard, I think StockOracle immediately jumps at you with a few key characteristics. Firstly, they deem Apple as having a white moat and tagged an Oracle value of roughly $181 per share. So we'll describe more about Oracle value later on. And what's special is that on the left-hand side, you can actually see this My Favorites column. It's basically a list of different characteristics that you wish to track for any company just within one click. And you can edit it as and when you like. And currently on the default, they're keeping tabs on things like the price to earnings ratio, free cash flow yield, so on and so forth. And for myself, I might potentially be more interested in the operating cash flow growth. So all I have to do is to key in the keyword operating and I get 5-year operating cash flow per share growth rates. And I just replace this with one of the other 10 items, modify them, and immediately I see that Apple has been growing their operating cash flow per share at around 15.5% rate for the last 5 years. And as we've alluded in the earlier part of this video, there is this function in StockOracle called Oracle IQ. And they basically benchmark the company in question on 6 key metrics. Intuitively, we want all of them to be green. So in this case, we can see that just at one glance for Apple today, they are ranking fairly low in terms of growth expectations and also potentially being a little bit overvalued. But we'll talk more about all these individual metrics later on. And in this particular video, I think we talk a lot about investing in our circle of competence. And by circle of competence, it means really about understanding the companies deeply that you own in your portfolio. And you might once think that, because Apple has a full suite, a different range of products, maybe the MacBook and the iPad itself makes up a large percentage of their sales as well. But clearly, in StockOracle itself, when you look at the breakdown in terms of their business segment, let's just go by percentages. And look at the most latest 2024 year, you can see that iPhone actually makes up more than half of the entire revenue. And when we discuss about the iPad, it's not even 7%. And for the MacBook, 7.6%. So we can actually see that, hey, for Apple's business today, the iPhone is still the rainmaker. And on a very intuitive level, both from a consumer and investor perspective, the iPhone was really the one that kickstarted my entire Apple iOS ecosystem journey. And you can see that it's clearly one of the most important product line for Apple's business itself. And more importantly as well, when we look at the different breakdowns of the different product lines, the pink line, which is represented by the services segment, has really increased in terms of their weightage of Apple's business. So back in 2020, services makes up roughly 19% of their revenue. Today, in 2024, they make up 24.5%. So clearly, we see that services as a percentage of revenue is increasing at a pretty fast pace. And also looking in terms of the quality of the revenue, I think services, no doubt, will definitely have a much higher margin compared to the normal products like manufacturing of the iPhone or even the Apple Watch. And that just gives you a general gist in terms of the breakdown of the business segments. And now, moving on to the geographic region, similarly, when looking in terms of the percentage breakdown, the US still makes up the majority at 36%, and Europe comes in second at 26%, and Greater China at 17%. And on a year-on-year basis, you can see that denoted in the purple line for Greater China, sales generated from that region is actually down 7.7% year-on-year. So that might potentially be something that you'll be concerned about as well. And now, moving on to the financials, to see in terms of their overall growth rate, their free cash flow, how is it performing? Yes, I think it's true that revenue has been increasing over the past 5 years, but we do see some sort of a stagnation compared to 2022 and the trailing 12 months. There is a small dip in the last 2 years, and it's the same picture for both operating income and net income. And moving on to their bottom line, I think it spells a similar picture. They kind of peaked in 2022 on an operating cash flow or free cash flow perspective, and when you scroll all the way down, you can basically draw the similar conclusion where back in 2022, they did experience a pretty high bar, and from the subsequent 2 years, they didn't grow as much. And scrolling down to their net income, I think a similar story. At the peak of $99.8 billion, we are seeing some sort of a weakness in the growth rates, which probably also explains why in the Oracle IQ, it is kind of reflected that they actually scored pretty lowly in terms of the estimates of their expected growth rate moving forward from here. Now, to zoom into Oracle IQ, I think we have already some sort of a baseline understanding in terms of their core business and why their Oracle IQ graph turns like this. So in terms of predictability, I think they kind of rank medium in terms of their historical growth rates and their expected growth rates. For profitability, I think for a lot of all these key benchmarks, they ranked extremely high because Apple has been an extremely profitable company and they continue to squeeze a lot of profits from their Apple fans, myself included, of course. Ranking low on growth rates estimates for the future, and accompanying them, we have this Oracle mode rank to really understand whether Apple is able to fend off competition to continue earning that supernormal profits. And here, we actually do have an AI mode analysis, giving you an understanding, ranking them based on a few of these key metrics like brand loyalty, barriers to entry, switching costs, so on and so forth. And clearly, Apple ranks extremely high on them with an overall score of 9. Financial rank medium, and valuation-wise, I think they are currently overvalued. But of course, I think these just gives you a first glance into understanding Apple as a business. And if you go into the intrinsic value tab, they actually give you a summary in terms of the different valuation methods you can potentially use to look at Apple's valuations today. And in fact, if you're not happy with what's calculated by the system, you can actually go all the way down, select your ideal type of valuation methods, and everything will be automatically populated for you. You can basically tweak the numbers to let you see how things play out based on your own personal estimates. And I think last but not least, really just looking at some of these companies and doing their comparisons. A lot of you don't like to just look at one stock. You like to compare them across different companies, potentially in that same particular watch list. And for myself, I think when looking at Apple today, I tend to compare them with the other technological companies to really understand, hey, which company is actually worth my hard-earned money. And for myself, I think Magnificent 7 as a category of stocks has been gaining popularity. So if you're Tesla, your Microsoft, your Google, so on and so forth. I've already included a Mag 7 watch list, inclusive of Apple, of course. So when looking at Apple and when trying to categorize or compare them across these 7 names, you can see that at one glance, the Oracle IQ chart gives you a very quick and dirty way into analyzing these different names. And compared to Apple with a few of the medium and lower ranking bars, Actually, it seems like there are better candidates out there for me to do a deeper research into. So personally for myself, when using these Oracle IQ charts, I pay a lot more attention to the first 5 factors. And if the companies actually rank very highly in the first 5 factors, it means that I think fundamentally and qualitatively, this business is worth a second look. Valuations, I think, can come in later on because we want to first focus into buying a good company, regardless of whether it's expensive or not. Because I have the time and the patience to wait for them to correct to a better valuation. But specifically, the fundamentals of the company is always the most important. And I think through StockOracle, it actually gives you a much more nuanced understanding into the business itself and to really stress test your assumptions of the business today. And not just stop at, because I have their products, I'm a user of Apple, that's why I have to be an investor. It gives you a better perspective where you bring in the idea and StockOracle gives you back the numbers and visualization. Now, most beginners think of stocks as sticker symbols and flashing numbers, like some game where you guess if it goes up or down. But a share isn't a lottery ticket. It's ownership in a real business, with products to sell, customers to keep happy, employees to manage, supply chains to optimize and run, and competitors to outsmart. That's why the first question to ask yourself isn't will the price go up, but do I actually understand this business well enough to own a part of it? And that's your circle of competence. The industry and companies you genuinely understand. Think of it this way. If you owned 100% of Apple Incorporated today, you wouldn't be staring at the stock price every 10 minutes. Instead, you'd be asking, are we selling more products this year? Are customers coming back? And is our brand still as strong as ever? So when you invest in what you know, you avoid chasing hype in sectors you don't understand. You are definitely calmer during market dips because you know the company's real strength, and you spot red flags much earlier because you know what normal looks like for this business. And your circle of competence, it's not fixed. You can expand it over time by reading, observing, and learning. But start with what you already know best. Of course, just because you use the company's product doesn't mean you fully understand the business. That's only the first step. As an investor, you need to dig a lot deeper to see what's really driving performance. And we've shown you how to harness the capabilities of StockOracle. And as we've seen in Apple's example, more than half of its revenue still comes from the iPhone. It's not just a best-selling product, it's the gateway that brings new users into the iOS ecosystem. And understanding their relationship is what gives you a deeper appreciation of the business, and of course, the stock itself. And you did this just with a few clicks in StockOracle. So right now, start with where you have an edge, double down on what you know, and let your knowledge compound over time. The goal isn't to know every business, it's to know a few so well that when an opportunity comes, you can act with confidence. And if you want to get access to this investing tool, you can head down to the link below to check out our latest offer. And this is CK from Piranha Profit signing off. Till next time, keep winning.